What's going on, everyone? Thank you for clicking on this video. And we are in the Key West International Airport. If you guys remember, we landed here from I think it was Fort Lauderdale Executive, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we're taking off. It is early morning here, and we're gonna start flying towards Tampa International, and then from there we'll possibly get out of Florida and do some other flights elsewhere. But of course, we're going to try to continue hopping through the north of Florida, and then we can possibly make it to Georgia and make some other trips. Hopefully, you guys are staying safe out there. How are you guys doing today? Keeping it nice and cool here. Look at how beautiful uh, everything looks this morning. Now, I do notice that the new update they just did kind of slightly change the clouds. Not too sure. Not too sure if I did like the previous beta that had the certain type of look to the clouds. So I'm not too sure what they're changing exactly. But let's get inside the aircraft. Let's get our plane turned on. We have the flight plan ready to go. Just like I showed you guys before, we have the winds coming out of the southeast here at 13 knots. And then around 15,000, those mid to upper level winds slightly change from the south, or I would say southwest, at 21 or 20 knots basically. So we're looking at some decent shear. Oh yeah, looking at some decent wind shear. But either way, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. There were some showers that were moving through in the Keys just moments ago. Alright, let's zoom in just a quick second here. Oh, I'm zooming out. Alright, so obviously you guys can see we got a few clouds in the sky. What else? Gonna get the fresh air turned on just so we don't forget. Nav coming on. Let's get our altitude to 15. Flight director coming on. Everything else looks pretty good, I would say. Let's turn this baby on, get our engine on. Alright, nobody's around. Controls are good. Everything is looking good in the green. We got enough fuel for this flight. Should make it there pretty quick, to be honest with you. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure that this is visible as well. We're gonna make it right here. So I was flying on Microsoft Flight 2020. Kind of wanted to see if the joystick was messed up or something like that, but just to find out that it is not the joystick. It's an explain how. I guess it's, and I calibrate it many times. So yeah, there was a storm kind of moving through here in the Keys. One of those lonesome storms. Dropped some rain. As you guys can see, there is rain on the runway. So I gotta figure that out. So I'm not too sure if that's a bug or what that is that flashes on the screen, because it wasn't doing that in the previous update. And also, the clouds have changed. They weren't showing like it was before on that previous video when I said that was posted, that was saying first impression of X-Plane 12. Those clouds were amazing. So I'm not too sure why they changed those, because there is some glitching within the cloud sometimes. So I don't know if that's just a thing. That's why they keep updating. Not too sure what the newer update was for, but hopefully they don't go the wrong way. So what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Finally got some rain in Central Florida, North Florida, the Panhandle. Gonna see some more today for Mother's Day weekend. Sorry, Mother's Day for Sunday. Hopefully you guys talk to your mom, and if you don't have your mom, I apologize about that. Definitely cherish if you do. We gotta thank God for our mothers and all the great things they have done. And I know not everyone had a great relationship with their mother, but God allowed for them to bring you into this world. And we just gotta thank God for this life that we have right now. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and turn on these strobe and landing lights now. We are cleared for takeoff. Alright, full throttle it is. Airspeed is alive. And we're gonna rotate. Gears coming up. And we're gonna cross left. Look how beautiful the Keys are. And look at that. The lights are amazing. The cars passing through. Awesome. Sheesh. Yeah, these clouds still look good though. The clouds, like I said, they have their look to them. What's that down there? Another police think that's a hospital helipad, if I'm not mistaken. So we're out of Key West here, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed your stay at the Keys. Now we're going back to Central Florida there, where is Tampa. If you guys are from Tampa, definitely like the video. So I guess when the clouds load in, that's what it's update. That's how it updates, which is okay. I mean, it's updating, you know. Maybe there should be like a slower way. Like rec simulations for the weather, they have an option where you can kind of put the timer or time how quickly you want the new clouds to update, and you can put it very slowly so it is not as noticeable, which I think that would be a great idea. Unless they could just implement that automatically in here, that'll be pretty cool, so we don't have to notice the clouds updating, if that makes sense. Alright, so we're approved to go to 15,000 feet, so that's where we're going to be climbing to. And then we have our handy dandy. Just put our nav. That's what I forgot to do earlier. Flight director is coming on. Let's go ahead and put our autopilot. Flight level change is coming on. Yaw damper is already on. Alright. Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful morning. We got the sunrise coming up soon. Or the sun is rising, really. Go ahead and head towards the route there. This happened early. I'm not too sure why it's doing that now, where the doesn't catch on to the route. Ten 10,000 feet. There we go. Caught on. See, like the outline of the clouds, I'm not too sure if that's, yeah, like that little fuzziness of, yeah, not too sure what's going on with that, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of that. They definitely need to fix it, because it looks like when you look around, the clouds does some weird shimmering. So that might be the new update. But it's obviously still in beta. Hopefully they get that resolved. Definitely make sure you guys are reporting the bugs or whatever you think is messing up, so they can look at it pretty quickly and get it resolved. But I do think, no, that cloud's right there. It looks really nice. Onto the left right there. Not big cumulus cloud. Alright, so 1,000 left to 15,000 feet. Amazing. Look at that. Wow. Alright guys, we're gonna take it to 20,000 feet. Make sure you hit that like button for that sunrise, because that sunrise and the redness of the sun and the clouds there, that looks pretty amazing still. But like I said, hopefully little by little we start to see a few more things implemented, as I'm more of a eye candy, you know, I'm an eye candy type of guy. I think once games start setting in there, like Microsoft Flight came after, right? That 2020, and then we were like, holy cow, you know, things look good. So they kind of set a standard in graphics, right? Before we didn't, you know, we tried to make it look as good as possible, but that just made it, you know, that's definitely competition. You're gonna have to try. But I'm not gonna lie, like I said, that the cloud. Oh yeah, because I was playing 2020 yesterday, and I'm like, man, the clouds don't even compare to X-Plane. And the color, you know, like they're getting their coloring correct. Looks really good. They're also what else? Yeah, when you're in the sky. Now the only thing obviously is the scenery, right? You look down below, you can see some beautiful scenery. That's obvious. But everything else, you're mostly in the sky. You're looking at the clouds. Or if it is clear skies, then you got scenery down below. But for the most part, yeah, they're like I said, you guys in X-Plane need to keep it going. You guys are doing a great job, I think. Let's just fix this updating type of cloud layers. You guys can see it's updating right now in front of us, and I want it to be less noticeable. You know, I want it to be. Well, you can see the ships down there as well, which is, and just like I said, that's why it's my favorite. To see the boats, to see the lights of the boats. You know, we're talking about. I don't know if they. You know what? I think I saw the video where. Man, I always forget his name. The creator of X-Plane, I think. What's his name? Either way, he showed the video of the boats and stuff like that, but I don't think they had any cruise liners. They only had the freight ships and the smaller boats, which is very cool, very good. Didn't see no cruise liners though. And then like the little stuff they got going, it's very you know, they're putting their effort. Clouds, needs to work on again. I don't know what changed there. Like I said, it looks good. It looks good, but it's been a couple years, and it's like, man, I want to see this thing advanced. So we are flying over the water, not much to see, but look at those boats down below, guys. That's pretty cool. Wow. You guys could take photos if you like. It's okay. Take out your cell phones and take a picture out your window there. So yeah, we're gonna have some showers on Mother's Day once again around the Panhandle, the northern Florida, some areas of Central Florida, and possibly around the southwest area of Florida. And I just need to check again because I think the main focus tomorrow, Monday, it looks like we should be Monday and Tuesday. I think South Florida will be seeing some more rain, or some actual rain and storms. So that's pretty exciting. We had that tornado, if you guys saw, on the boundary of the Panhandle in Alabama. I think it was Holmes County, Florida. I always forget the city that the tornado hit. 19,000 to, 1,000 to go for 20,000 feet. But there was a tornado, did some decent damage. I'm wondering the scale for what kind of, if it was an EF1 or EF2. Or it was some decent damage though. And I think for some of us on the east and some parts of the Panhandle, could have a decent breeze, some good winds. You guys want to see the exterior of the plane, or that's kind of loud? I'm not too sure if it's too loud or not, but so I just noticed that Epic Pen thing was on the screen. I don't know if that was recording or not. I hope not, but most likely it was, and I apologize about that. Man, that sure does look amazing though. So right now we are getting pretty close to about to cross over Marco Islands and the Everglades city, just in between them. So that's pretty neat. We're moving pretty quick, I would say. But the sun is rising up. Another beautiful day that the Lord has made, and gave us another day of life to live once again, and to rejoice with him, and give him praise of course, you get to see your friends and your family once again. And you always got to thank the Lord for opening your eyes, giving you two hands and 2 feet. Obviously, not everyone has that lifestyle that we can live. And we still, and there's people that actually are, there's people who are disabled and don't have, uh, some hand, some people don't have hands or feet, but they still praise the Lord. They're still living uh, a good life. They're still living happy. Whoa. Now that's another thing too. Is this rain, the Star Wars effect? I am really never enjoyed that. That's one thing I remember for X Plane 11. I'm like, dude, what is this? Yeah. So that's something I hope we get to start fixing up in here. Hopefully we get out of this cloud soon. If not, we're just gonna have to go a bit higher. Definitely see some clearing. Might have to go just a tad bit higher to get above these clouds. Beautiful. We're just sitting right below these clouds here, so that'll be good if it doesn't change here. See, so those glitches that you see that's happening, I'm not too sure what is causing that. That is not fun to see at all. Kind of ruins the immersion, but you got to go with it for now. Like I said, that's something I'm just gonna hopefully report to them and see if or if there's any fixes for that. I don't know what's exactly causing that. We are getting some turbulence through the cloud, which is a pretty cool feature. Not sure if that's something that they did add themselves, or if they always had it. There we go. We're just reaching Pelican Marsh, or actually, I would say Naples, which is west of us. And yes, this is live weather. Not too sure if I said that in the beginning of the video, but we're looking at live weather. And another thing as well is when they're showing rain like that on the, if they're showing rain, why is it not showing the droplets on the windshield there? So that's another thing as well. That little things like that, that's just, I'm a little picky with. Looks good. Looks good. Few fixes that needs to get done. I'm gonna keep saying that possibly until we start seeing some changes there. Let me know in the comments if you guys, if you do play X-Plane 12, Did you notice the change within the clouds from the previous beta? Because I sure did. Now, obviously, the far ones look great as well, like those ones that are further away. They look pretty good in the light, in the sunlighting. All right, so we're catching up to kind of crossing over Cape Coral and Fort Myers coming up. So talking about GTA 6, what do you guys think with that pushback for the date? Do you guys care, or did you guys care about it? I think it's good that they pushed it back further, kind of keeping us a little bit more eager for what's to be put in there. Now, one thing, since I've been into the weather lately, um, is that they have some live weather implementation on there, since it's going to be based supposedly um, in Florida. They should definitely have some type of live weather, right? Possibly you can be able to change it, but I think live weather would be so cool. Kind of get, if it's raining in Florida, then they should have the rain, and if it's storming, they should have storms. And if there's a hurricane coming, they should have it where that can actually be a thing where, you know, they can make, there's so many ideas that can be put in that, like, you know, since if it's going to be multiplayer, they can have like little news coming up saying, you know, talking about the hurricane coming, and then it'll be in the GTA 6 as well, and then you guys like can prepare, and you can bring some stuff into your home. Very, very good ideas out there. So we are going to be descending soon. Make sure um, you guys have your seatbelts on here in just a second and sit upright. See if we can once we get below. Wait, I don't think that was let's see what it's doing first, actually. Yeah, not too sure what's going on here. Okay. Yeah, so I think I messed something up there with the route. Yeah, what's going on here, guys? I'm not too sure. Was I over speeding? Yeah, so I definitely didn't do this flight, this route correctly here, because the cold box star that's all the way north of Tampa. I guess I didn't connect these. Didn't line them up correctly. That's my fault. You have the approach right for the runway, but so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna straighten out north just a tad bit here. We're gonna start heading. Use our heading bug. To go north. And then once we get to our closer to the approach there, then we'll start using the nav. Crazy, because this is the morning, but it looks like it's gonna be nighttime here. So much cloud coverage. Yeah, the cloud structures are amazing. I just don't. I'm hoping they're not trying to make it look like Microsoft uh, simulator clouds, because that's gonna ruin it. And those clouds for Microsoft Flight isn't uh, exactly realistic. Because the clouds on here are just way better. That's a little bit closer to real life, to be honest with you. And I enjoy it every time I'm in here. So I apologize that this flight didn't go according to plan. Sometimes when I do my videos, I want it to be um, perfect, and obviously that's not always gonna happen. Obviously, I can cut those parts out, but I want you guys to see the whole flight. You see, like, what's going on with that? Why is it doing that? Yeah, they need a better way of updating stuff there. I'm not too sure if that's because it was updating the haze or something. I'm not too sure. Because we could see some haze right now towards the ground. Or fog. Yeah, so that's just an updating effect that it has on the sky textures. That is interesting stuff there. Yeah, it looks amazing though, you know? We're gonna descend it just a tad bit further. Yeah, it's pretty cool with that little that ray that's just shooting out. Nice. going to be crossing left soon.
Altitude.
1,000 to go to 3.5, or I would say 3,500. All right, guys, get prepared for landing here. Alright guys, so we do have that runway lined up now. We'll start slowing down a bit here.
Landing here. Landing here.
Yep, we'll get our gears down.
Landing here.
We'll remove autopilot because autopilot's going. It's getting a little wonky. Alright, landing lights coming on. I think you're way too high though. Yeah, this whole where I messed up was the approach and the connecting the routes correctly and the flight levels here.
Altitude.
At least let's have a good landing. There we go. Oh, smooth as butter. Well, we made it to Tampa International safe and sound though, at least, right? Alright guys, let's turn off those engines. Turn off the nav. And we made it. Safe and sound, beautiful skies. Didn't really have much to worry about in the skies, but wasn't too happy about the route that we kind of had. I should have checked it over, but hopefully you guys enjoyed either way. Nice, decent video for you guys there if you do watch the whole thing. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you. We'll do another one, and let me know in the comments what flight, where, or what location do you guys want to see me fly, either Flight Sim 2020 or X-Plane 12, doesn't matter. But either way, take care guys. I'll see you in the next one. Stay dry out there.